everyone, and welcome to today's Abacus Law Free Training Thursday. Today we have our trainer, Perry Lafferty, here, and she will be doing a very special accounting edition of Ask Us Anything. As a reminder, you can put your questions in the sidebar, and we will have those answered by Perry. Without further ado, I'll turn this on over to her. Perry?
Thank you much, Amanda, and welcome everyone. My name is Perry Lafferty, and I'm going to be your hostess here today for our short little gathering. But this is the open format where you guys can ask questions. As Amanda has pointed out, you just type them in over there under the question section, and I'll get to as many as we can with the time that's being allowed. Good news is we already have a couple in place, so let's go ahead and get started with that. First question is, how do you transfer from the operating account to the trust account when there has been a misdeposit? Okay, so let's just make sure my translation is correct here. I'm hearing that perhaps we have come into Abacus. Obviously, we're on the accounting side today just to make sure we're all in the right spot. And we have come in through payments received and entered a client payment here and posted it. Okay, so we've got it in. Obviously, these payments do go into the operating account. So it has been entered, it's been posted, it's updated all 30-some places that it goes throughout the system. And then you realize, oh my goodness, that wasn't supposed to go into operating. It was supposed to go into trust. Well, the way to remedy that is we've got to undo what we did, okay? And the best way to do that is to go back here, right back where you did it in the first place, under Enter Client Payments, which obviously is on the Billing drop-down menu under Payments Received. We go back in to Add, and I'm starting here on my screen with how we back it out. I'm assuming everybody's got it in. You know, that's already been done, so I'm not going to go through that section, but we're backing it out. So, of course, you want to pick your particular matter as whomever it might be. Okay, obviously, it's just letting me know I don't have a balance on that one. But anyway, what the magic part is you're going to place a minus sign or a negative sign or a dash, if you just want to call it a dash, in front of the dollar amount. So let's say it was $100 we put in, and now we need to take that $100 out. Well, by putting in the minus sign in front of that $100, it's going to go ahead and put parentheses around either side of the dollar amount. According, that's accounting, if you will. They don't recognize the little dash, so they're going to make it look more like an accounting entry. It wants us to distribute this manually. That's no problem. Okay, and then you're going to come in here and type in why you did this. And believe me, it's a good idea to do so, because as time goes by, if you're anything like me, I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, much less what I did yesterday. So this would be a good way to say to correct entry or misdeposit, and I cannot type, deposit entered in error. Okay. And then you're going to check the box for no invoice, okay? Obviously, we're not applying this to any particular invoice because we've already done that. Let me go ahead and make my screen a little bigger here. Okay, now you've got to distribute it on how you want it to come out. This should be the same as how it went in. So if it was for a hard cost, you would put the minus 100 here. Or if it was for a soft cost here, or any combination of how it was originally entered. So you want to back it out the exact same way you put it in. Okay. If there is a fee going along with it, you want to back it out against the appropriate timekeeper. All right. So if it is a minus in the fee column, you're going to come to your fee distribution tab, and you're going to want to go ahead and put it against whoever you want it to be against. Okay, so if you are doing this against a particular timekeeper, let's see what it's doing here. Oh, it's not letting me do this. Great. No invoice selected. It's being calculated from there. Up, down here, add timekeeper. There it is. If you notice there's a difference in the screen, it's because I am on version 2325. So if you don't have the 2-tab method of entering payments, you're going to want to look to getting an update to your system. And as you could just see right there, we no longer have the boxes assorted all set up here. You simply come in and add as you need to, so it's not quite so intimidating to see all those empty boxes. So here I want to take it away from the particular timekeeper. All right, so you got to put in your dollar amount. And this way, the system will go through to the productivity reports and take it away from the productivity reports. Remember, when we put it in, one of the places it went in and updated when you were posting, well, I shouldn't say just one, it updates all the fee-oriented productivity reports. So to back it out, we want to make sure to fill this in, okay? Now, in the past, if you had the 3rd tab, it may have been a pain in the hiney to fill out all 3 tabs and then have it take you back to the 2nd tab to fill out. So once again, that is something you want to go ahead and look into as far as getting version 2325. All right, so we're going to save this, obviously, and post it with the appropriate date. If I did it today, I'm going to take it out today so I can post it. And this is going to back it out. Like I say, it's going to back it out of the operating account. It's going to back it off of the bank reconciliation for the operating account. It's going to back it off of the matter billing activity, all the productivity reports, you know, your income statement, everywhere. Now, of course, just to rectify it, you come into trust deposits and enter it as it should have been in the first place. Okay? So, yep, I have done this before, so I know well and good what you're talking about here. But that is the best way, so it backs it out. Some folks would like to just go delete it, but we want to take into account those productivity reports. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. If I can move down these questions. Okay, let's see here. There was a question here about late charges, okay, interest. If you are going to charge interest, let it be known that Abacus charges on a 30-day basis, okay? It won't charge on 25, and it doesn't calculate out to, say, 60-something. It charges for 30 days, all right? So the client really does need to be behind 30 days for it to even go into effect, and it does do that manual calculation based on 30 days. I realize someone has mentioned that that is not technically correct in the way they do things. And, you know, with any enhancements that we would like to make to the program, it's great to voice them because that's how we make something happen, right? So believe me, it's not a problem that you find something and you want change. Nobody will take offense to it. It's just my job now to report this back to our development team and see what it would take for them to put in an option to be able to calculate to the actual date. You know, if it's 33 days past due versus 30 days or 90 days or whatever, it's whenever you bill it. Okay, so the current way the Abacus works is when you bill it, if it's 30 days past due and you billed 30 days ago, it will calculate a late charge. And then if you bill again and another 30 days, it will obviously bill again on that late charge, doubling it to the 60 days. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's see if I can move back up here and see another question. Okay. Okay. All right, I think we've got that one. Boy, you guys are good at typing. It takes me all day to type all that. All right, why can't I get to these questions? All right, down we go. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, we've got that one down. Let's see if I can move down a little bit more here. That's just going back up to the top. Okay, someone has asked about email templates. Okay, how do we have the ability to have more than one email template? And the answer now is yes. All right, it was all the way up until version 2325 that we just did have the one email template in company preferences, where it was sitting down there at the very bottom of the screen in the left-hand corner. Well, that's your default, okay? That's the one that comes with the system, and you can make changes to this. And if you want to make changes to it, you can make changes for different types of bills. Not every matter, okay? We're talking about different kinds of bills. So it goes along with the billing format code. So as soon as this guy pops up here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. It is generated, or it is set up here. So down here, where am I? Okay. All right, where's my email template? Okay, great. Well, all right. That's where it was originally. But now, with this new version that you can tell I just recently have, we now have a new entry on our drop-down menu for billing email templates, okay? Before, this was not here. So now what you're doing is coming in, and you can actually change and make additional templates. This one is the default, so if you do want to set up a new one, you can. It gives you the basics for that template. In other words, these things up here in these fancy doodle brackets, those we don't necessarily want to change unless we just want to totally delete that field. That's a little bit of programming, if you will, those things in those brackets. That means go get this information that's contained in the brackets and substitute it into the email. So this is where you would come to set up additional templates, okay? And I've done so before, believe it or not, in before class, I got one in here. And then when you come to your billing format codes, you actually can come in and assign a template to your billing format. So for example, on my good old hourly format, let's say I set up a specific email that goes with that format. What I can do now is edit this and come in and change the template that goes with this billing format. So every matter that has this format can now receive a different email, okay? So that is where you assign it to it. Now remember, it's not by matter, it's by billing format. But that can be fun. You can set them up that are directly related to the type of law, like say for hourly billing, you can set up an hourly template where maybe it mentions in the email that this matter is being charged on an hourly basis, whatever you want to say. And for all the other billing formats, you can do that as well. Okay, let's see if I can get to this one. In a situation where we have sued a client for attorney fees and costs and received a judgment against the client, is there a way that we can recode that matter so that it does not show up on our accounts receivable report? Okay, how to get it off the receivable report? Let's see. We would instead like to be able to generate a judgments receivable report so that we will be able to track payments on judgments separately from how we track regular client payments. Okay, let's see if I've got this one right. So let's see what choices we have when we come in to print an accounts receivable report. Okay, obviously we can do it by client, we can do it by case code, and we could do it by timekeeper. Then I'm going to suggest for all cases where you have a judgment receivable, we set up a new case code and apply it to that matter. So on the matter screen, okay, you already will have one in here that you set up when the matter was initially input into the program. So you've got a case code right here. All right, so what I do is set up a new case code in law and then use it here. And then when you go to print your receivable report, you can ask for it just by that type of law. Okay, and yes, I know it's not really a type of law, but it's just a way to separate out from your regular receivable report those particular that particular matter type. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. You guys are doing great. Okay, let's see here. Okay, okay, a little bit about split billing. Split billing is its own little bird, okay? It's its own type of billing. It looks totally different and acts totally different than any of the other billing that Abacus does. Split billing is would be for class action lawsuits, or it doesn't have to be that many parties. It could just be two parties where you're representing both sides and you're splitting the fee and the cost amongst the two parties, okay? So that is a totally separate type of billing. On the billing drop-down menu, you can see we've got something in here, split time and or cost. That's the only type of matter that you would use this for, okay? But so to kind of explain what that is, but to start from the very beginning, you're going to want to set up your matters. Now, this can get a little bit complicated, okay? You have to have what's called a master matter, and then you have sub matters. The master matter is going to be the party that all the time is input to and all the costs are applied to if that time and those costs are to be split, okay? So you have to have a master matter, and then you set up sub matters. Now, this does start over in AbacusLaw, and I don't want to get too drawn and drawn out here with all these million little details, but just hitting the highlights here. If you are interested in this, I'll be happy to send you the document we have out there specifically for split billing. But the main things are setting up the master matter, making sure this is checked here so the system knows this is the master matter. For your billing tab, you have to use the split billing format code. And getting back to that format code as we spoke earlier, right? This is where you would make sure you have your proper billing format code. If you're looking to see the bill turn out a certain manner, make sure you've got the proper billing format code here. Split billing has its own, must be used on every sub matter for that matter. Otherwise, the information may not go through totally to the proper place. Then, of course, time is entered, like I say, into that master matter. Costs are also entered into that master matter. And then when you're ready, you come in to actually split the time and the cost in your system. So you would pull the master matter here. I think I have a time ticket and a cost in here. So there we go. There's our cost. There's our time ticket. It's asking us, do we want to split both? And we say select all. Okay, and then split these items because we're splitting everything here. Okay, and it's just going into more detail to make sure you realize what it's splitting. Okay, process all. And we want to be careful here. This is the point of no return. Okay, if you hit yes, this cannot be undone. Split billing is just that complicated within the system, updating, taking it from the master matter, putting it onto the sub matters, calculating the proper percentage, that once you get here, you just want to make sure you're good to go. Then you click yes. Okay. From this point, now you're ready to actually print your pre-bills and or your actual bills for that, and you do that by the master matter. Now, like I say, I can get into much more detail with this. You could send an email, drop an email to webinars, and Amanda will let me know, and then I can send out the document. But here you would use the master matter, and then, of course, it goes ahead and calculates because it's splitting it amongst those submatters, however many there are, and it's going to set up I only had two here for submatters. It set them both up with billing because you have to process all the bills at the same time. Okay, so that's the 10,000-foot version. But if you do have more questions about that, I'm happy to help. Sometimes, just contacting you one-on-one and going through the situation is a good idea. Okay, do we have any other questions here? Let me see if I can find anything. Okay. Okay, we've got that one. We got that one. All right. It looks like if y'all have any other questions, if you can go ahead and type them in the panel. Like I say, we try to have these Ask Anythings at least once a month, one for law, one for accounting. and then the other webinars during the month, we may focus on particular topics. If you have a topic that you would like us just to concentrate on, please submit it to Amanda through webinars, and we'll be able to, to fulfill your request. Okay, let me see here if I can read this one. Okay, will a detail of the master on a split bill be shown on the submatters? It's not going to show both sides. It's going to show each individual side. I've got these listed here if I can pull this out to show. Okay, these are the individual matters for this master matter, but let's go ahead and see if we can look at this. It should show all of the time tickets, and it should show all of the costs for that were split here. When we just did that a moment ago, they should come through to the bill. So let's check and see what we've got here. Okay, so here's our time ticket coming through. I just put that text in earlier today, and there's our cost coming through. So it does show them individually. This is Ava's bill, and then of course we have another bill for the other party, but it breaks it down. It shows the full amount here with the full number of hours, okay, and then it shows that she's being charged 40% of the fees, so her fees amount to $240 out of the $600, and then it does the same thing on the, let's see if I can move this. Okay, it's the 40%. She's also paying 40% of the cost, so that is calculating here out of the 300. And then on the second page, it should be showing the recap here. Okay, so this one has admin charge set up on it as well. Okay, so if something's not going correctly on your bill, always check to see what version you're on, and you go to customer support or tech support. Their number is 800-488-3334, or you can email them at CSE, which is Client Service Engineer, so CSE at AbacusLaw.com. Those are two ways to get to them. If anything, if you don't have, I'm on version 23.25.17b. So, there's more than just 23.25. Make sure, you've got your entire version number in your email so they know what version you're on and what version you want to update towards. Okay, let's see. I can't see any other questions here. Looks like we may have gotten them all. Okay. Let's see, I'm just reading through these. Okay, let's see, that looks like I haven't got this one. Okay, hold on here. Is there a way for the late charges to be automatically added versus entering it manually each month under cost adjustments? I'm sorry, yes. I didn't quite get all the way in there, did I? I'm sorry. Okay, so under matters, this is where you go to the matter and set up the percentage of late charges you want to charge, and it will automatically calculate them for you. So under matters, we go to matters. You pull the matter you're dealing with. Maybe not everyone's going to have a late charge. It's the bad apples that don't pay their bills on time. You come here to the rates tab, so the third tab over from the bottom. Then you go all the way up in the right-hand corner, and this tax, and I believe INTT is supposed to be interest, okay, admin and discount rates. So here you come in and you're going to fill out your late charge rate percentage. So 1.5%. This is a monthly percentage, not a yearly percentage, okay? We don't want to put 12% or 18% in here because it will charge that amount per month. All right, and you might, get in a little trouble there. So we want to keep it to the month. 1.5 is 18% per year, so that will automatically calculate on any balance that is over the 30 days due, okay? So 28 days won't do it. It's got to be 30 days overdue. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Why, having problems reading these things. Okay, automatically calculated, we got that. To show reasons for adjustments, made to old billing or any billing, I have found out that a new billing case code has to be created. Not a problem, but when the bill is produced, they show up in whatever order they feel like, no matter the transaction number or the date entered. Okay. I would like to see that because that does not sound right. The program's not supposed to operate in that fashion. Okay. If you are setting up a new case code, I can use those for things like having that judgment a case code set up, but for an adjustment to a bill, I got to get more into details here because that just doesn't sound right to me. So please, let Amanda know that you have that question, and I will follow up with a one-on-one email or phone call with you to see if I can't check that out to see what's going on there, because that just doesn't sound right to me. If you make an adjustment to a bill, you shouldn't have to change what kind of bill it is, or what kind of case it is, I should say. And for those of us that are, what is she talking about here? Under cost and adjustments is exactly what it says. This is where you want to come in and give credits to a client, maybe just a courtesy discount. Also, you're going to come in here to do write-offs if you need to, and basically you click add and you fill out the screen. Now, the client expense code, you want to be careful there. Well, let's just pull something so it stops going around circles. Okay. Courtesy discount, we want to make sure you have that set up in your client expense codes here. If you need to add codes, you certainly can. Maybe you were thinking of a client expense code and not a case code, perhaps, but you can set up new codes. You just click on add. The code itself does not go through to the client's bill. That's just for your use only, and it is only 3 characters in length. But the description does go through to the bill. So let's show you courtesy discount. All right. So this is the phrase that will go through to the bill. In this case, the courtesy discount is going to be fee oriented. And if there's the same amount you apply every single time, you could put in the per item cost. But normally, with a discount, you may just want to put in what you want, not a set amount. So then you're using this code when you are, where am I? Courtesy discount. Okay, see if I've got that here. Okay, so then it shows up here. You put in your dollar amount. The big thing to remember here is to change it from a debit to a credit. Down here in the debit credit tab, we want to make sure we change it to a credit. If we leave it on a debit, we're actually going to charge the client more. All right, and that's not going to go very well when we're telling them we're giving them a courtesy discount. So this is something Abacus cannot do on its own for a courtesy discount or for any particular discounts you may set up. But one good thing is on the write-off codes, Abacus does understand those are credits because those are hard-coded into the system. So the write-off codes, which are on our list down here near the bottom under W's, if you use those codes, because this is a hard write-off, okay? This means we don't ever expect to see the money, the client's gone, or, we're never going to get a deadbeat client. You want to write off what is necessary, so it goes to your write-off report, so you can give that to your tax accountant at the end of the year. So if you're writing something off, you choose the code. And as I'm mentioning here, if you use a write-off code, the system knows it's a credit. So that's one thing you don't have to think about. But if you're just making up your own code, like courtesy discount I made up, I have to change that to a credit because the system doesn't understand that that is typically a credit, okay? Because everything else we do in here is normally a debit, right? All the costs we charge for is normally a debit, so it defaults to debit. It only knows to do it on the write-off. So hopefully that will help a little bit. Let's see here. Okay, well, we're getting close to the end of our time here, and I don't want to make anybody, be late for their next appointment. So thank you all very much for your time and patience. Please, webinars at abacusnext.com or abacuslaw.com. I'm pretty sure that one works as well. Give us your ideas, questions, and like I say, if I didn't get your question, to please today, please let Amanda know. She's at the end of webinars at abacusnext.com. She'll get it to me, and I will personally get with you one-on-one. I appreciate y'all and hope to see you again soon. Have a lovely afternoon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Perry. Have a great day.